JJ's got the keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, I just shed a single manly tear from that beautiful ballad, that beautiful intro song. I'm a big fan of lo-fi, and that was good. Okay, Bitcoin currently trading at $95,662.63. We got a little top out going on. We got a rejection at the 50-week exponential moving average, which we expected. Some resistance. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Get a little 12-hour action. And zoom. I'm liking what I'm seeing. We got long liquidations hit. Going for the shorts next. 96,264. We're going to have three levels going up. 96,264 because I see some separation here. That is not necessarily a cause for concern, but I don't like that gap. I would rather, know when this hits. 97,130. What do you guys think of the new intro song? I don't know if I'm convinced entirely, but it depends on the mood, I suppose. 98,645. Definitely not like a Monday, Tuesday intro song, but Thursday, Friday, I'll take it, absolutely. We've got 95,038. And the bippity boppity bottom. I'm going to go, I guess I'll go right here, 93,883. So order book or liquidation map, heat map, kind of thin to the downside, which is good. RSI is no longer overbought. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average, and the moving average is pulling back down out of the overbought area, which is good. Not quite as reset as we were last time, but if we're in like a solid uptrend, then I suppose, let's just check this out really quick for a second. Maybe we go all the way down to 45, depending on if we're going to bounce here or not. Tom Scott said, lots of chatter. People selling their metals today. Interesting. Yeah, that pullback, I think, scared a lot of people yesterday. A lot of folks probably loading up. I don't know if it stopped. Palladium cup and handle breakout. Yeah, I don't know if... How do we even look at Palladium? Ooh! Like, what? How do you... I mean, there's like 1,000 of them. How far back does that chart go? This is on the 4-hour. You've got cup and handle for sure. Breakout, retest, bounce, bounce. I don't know. This right here is definitely like indecisive. It's not a bear flag though. It's just like a descending channel. almost bullish. I don't know. Bootney Lee Farnsworth. When bull run? What's going on, Bootney? Long time no see. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Cheers. Good seeing you, my guy. Good seeing you. All right. Palladium. Yeah, it just seems indecisive to me. I like these wicks. The wicks are definitely indicative of some buying pressure. Daily also. Let's go check out the daily. Oops. Yeah, I can't get rid of that. Dang it. I mean, so you get a pump, and then you get kind of a choppy sideways. Then you get a pump. Oh, I think this dump went down too far. And that wick, people scooped it up, and now it's trying to reevaluate. Yeah, definitely indecisive flatline right now. I suppose consolidation, like chopping to the side, obviously, would be. Look at that volume too. Not so surprising. I don't know. The thing that interests me most is this trend right there. That's just like a sideways, mildly descending channel, which is usually pretty bullish. Anyways, Bitcoin down 1.3% on the day, currently trading at 95,691 and 38 cents. We, like I said, rejected the 50-week exponential moving average and are pulling back. We got back below our yellow trend line, which is the most recent trend line established back here. Support turned resistance. So getting above that and staying above that is going to be a big deal. We were fully expecting some resistance here at that 50-week exponential moving average, though, which is around 97,650, give or take. Volume looks really good here. Yesterday, we were supposed to get tariff ruling. That got delayed. Today, we were supposed to get Clarity Act. That got delayed. So all the news that was supposed to happen this week got delayed. Excuse me, I'm dying. John Tujo said XCN about to go for it, I hope. Let's go take a look. Really quick. With Bitcoin, I guess our nearest hope is that liquidation point at 96,264 might be able to push us above the yellow trend line again. I would not be surprised to see a deeper pullback, though. Maybe to 94, maybe even lower, to get that RSI reset a little bit better. I'm going to look at ETH and Sol and then total. Let me get through this chunk and then I'll look at XCN for you, John. With ETH, we kind of got a triple top going on. It's very uniform. Trying to bust through that ceiling at 33.66. It's interesting to see that actually come into play as resistance, because there's not a ton of confluence here. We had like two small, tiny support zones and then resistance right here. And that was really it. Outside of that, it's kind of just psychological at this point. What's nice, though, is our price really hasn't changed. The RSI is resetting. Now, you might argue that that's bearish div, but at the moment, it really isn't. Because what are you going to go off of these two? These tiny points? That's gone down. If you go off of this, then yeah, that was bearish div, and that played out right here. So, we got a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI. And red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside in market cipher with positive money flow. So the reset is happening as we speak. I don't know if we're going to pull back, though. We should have a decent amount of support at 33 just because of the psychological level and this teeny tiny little rejection right there. Kind of a cup and handle going on here as well. If you're a cup and handle guy, I'm 50-50 on them. I much prefer the Adam Eve double bottom. You got an Adam Eve double bottom, and Eve is actually, she's got a guy on the side right here, or a chick on the side, even better. John Tujo said that pattern is called getting fisted. I think they all are. At least right now. Crypto in general is just called getting fisted. ETH 33.14, down 1.22%. Volume looks good. RSI slowly resetting. See where it takes us. We got 20 minutes remaining until the daily close contest, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Sol down 2.97% on the day, currently trading at 142.32. Sol looks really good here. We had our neckline, legacy neckline, that goes way back to the last time Sol broke out and made all-time highs, actually. danced around here, kind of played median. We had a downtrend right here that we broke sideways out of. We talked about this pattern before. Whenever we get a downtrend and we chop sideways out of it, there's usually a pop later on. This sideways chop, I don't know if it's accumulation. I don't know what it is. Like, literally just consolidates and then explodes to the upside, which is awesome. So we got that. We got above our neckline, and we danced around our upper trend line, the blue line, which is a legacy trend line. That also goes back just as far, actually farther than the purple trend line. Purple trend line is a neckline from an inverse head and shoulder pattern. We got kind of a little Adam Eve, like micro Adam Eve right there. Broke out, retest, confirmed support, continuation to the upside. Rejected around 148. And now we're pulling back. Let's see if we get support right here, a little interim support from, actually, there should be a lot of support here at around 140 or 142. And see if we get a bounce off of that. RSI technically reset to the middle at 50. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average on Wednesday. And volume looks good. Red dot, confirmed red dot on market cipher at the Pico top here, which is playing out as we speak. Money flow is still positive, and your momentum wave is about to cross bearish, which is good. Total 3 down 2.02% on the day. Rejected 910.26 billion for the second time right here. We got a bit of a bongo cat pattern, if you will. You could also call it a Mothman pattern, depending on your preference. We are seemingly bouncing off of 883 right here, which we do have marked with a trend line. That is a point of confluence based on previous price action, which you can also see right here. We actually just use that as resistance and eventually got above that. So breakout retest confirmed would be ideal. Can we use that as a springboard to get above 910 or even just get above 900 billion and stay above it? Our RSI seemingly creating some kind of a little wedge right there. A descending channel. Bearish cross over the moving average. It looks like yesterday, technically. And we're sitting below 50 on the RSI as well. Red dot on the momentum wave, point to the downside. About to cross below the midpoint there as well. Heading the bearish half of the chart, which is good. We are almost fully reset for further upside. Let's go take a look at XCN. Onyx Coin. I always click on the wrong chart. There we go. Onyx Coin doing its thing. Getting a little flag. You had a flag. Flag broke bearish. And now you're kind of doing like a wedge, I suppose. So you'll see if you break bearish or bullish out of that. Volume is kind of bad. But whenever volume consolidates like that, you usually get a pop at the end of it. Hopefully that's not what that is. Your area of support, 84.61, is trying. It's trying its best right now. Price is at least trying to stay above that. You did get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI. I would say all the way back on January 6th. And have had trouble getting back above that ever since. So crossing above that would be a good first step. Your money flow is negative. You do have a red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside, and you are almost oversold. So there's hope, but something to keep an eye on for sure. It is consolidating right now. Up or down? That's the ultimate question. Tishu said, yo, anybody believe in algo anymore, or is it dead? I see a lot of algo. Take this as you will, Tishu. On my very Cardano curated timeline, I see a lot of algo. So it's one of the few coins that I see specified. I guess Cardano curated timeline is not quite as relevant anymore. My timeline is a lot of like macroeconomic, which is kind of depressing. But I'm not on social media for fun. I try to have fun while I'm on there though. Anyways, 8 is down 5.07% on the day. Got the same double top rejection situation going on as everything else. 42 is the resistance. We got a little bongo cat going on. Can we hold above 38 still here? We're at 39, 34. Getting above 40 would be ideal. Staying above 40. RSI is well below 50. We're at 42-ish. Bearish cross over the moving average yesterday as well. Red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside from Wednesday. Money flow did just flip negative. Let's see if it stays that way. And our momentum wave did just cross into the bearish zone. Volume could be a little bit better here, but this is just specific to KuCoin, so not really crying about it, to be honest. Snack is down 6.99% on the day, currently trading at 0.00097338. We did lose a zero again. Can we get back above 0.001? Hopefully. Otherwise, again, it's going to get depressing and crappy, and nobody likes that. We are constantly failing to get above the separate trend line, and we got a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI yesterday. Money flow has been negative for a very consistent period of time, and volume kind of sucks. Midnight down 3.61%, broke below 64.08. Kind of trying to get back above it right now. If it loses 64, then I think it's going to look like crap very quickly. We are getting some bullish div, though, which is good. Can that result in some further upside? Hopefully. Getting above 64 and staying above it's going to be the first step, and then we can get above 75 and start talking about higher volume, because that's slowly increasing as well, which is good. We are also about to get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI, and we did get a green dot on the momentum wave on Market Cipher. Money flow is still negative, though, so be careful. XRP is down 3.02% on the day, currently trading at 207.47. Holding $2 is going to be very important for XRP. Right now, we don't have to worry about that, but I want to start to introduce that talk because we're slowly creeping down there. We are above 206, which is good. Volume slightly higher than it was when we were super duper flat back here. I had a bounce target from October at 210, so we're back below that, which is interesting. My question is, are we going to pull all the way back down to our yellow trend line here and retest that at around probably 186? I don't know. As of right now, our points of confluence in the near term are either 210 to 214 or 206 to $2 to 196. RSI got a bearish cross over the moving average between Wednesday and Thursday, and we have traded below that since then. We also got a red dot of the momentum when it pointed to the downside, and money flow just flipped negative on Wednesday as well. Waterfly said, I still hold Algo, but don't have high hopes. Let's go take a look at Algo. Algorand. We got the double top Mothman Bongo Cat pattern here as well. Volume looks good there. Dump does not look that great, to be honest. Is there a trend here? Yeah. There's a trend there, sort of. For the candles. It is a downtrend. It's kind of inverse what happened back here, which is interesting. So this resulted in upside. Is this going to result in downside? You see what I mean? And then eventually everyone just ends up trading in between the same range of like 10 and 13 or 10 and 14. I don't know. Uptrend goes up, downtrend goes down. I guess that's what they're trying to tell us. It is kind of telling of the state of liquidity at the moment right now, though. It seems very robotic. Over a longer period of time, you lost key levels. 25 was very important back here. Even back here, this little kind of floor situation. I think that was your last ditch effort right there, and then it lost it. So getting back above that purple trend line, I think, would be a big one. Even just getting back above 15. You're at 1278 right now. RSI. Money flows negative. Yeah, you got a bearish cross over the moving average on Wednesday. Let's go to a higher time frame. So much on that turn. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, you are at bear market lows, man. I mean, what's lower? You're going to go to 2023 around 8 cents, which is 1/3. Yeah, you could technically lose 33% more, but we got kind of a little triple bottom action going on here, which is kind of the state for most alts. And what's interesting, check this out. Are you guys ready? You got low, lower low, higher low, pop. What's going on right here right now? Low, 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 pop. I should not have said the higher low, lower low part. But a little triple bottom action results in a decent upside. Just saying. Okay. So yeah, that's interesting observation. The little triple bottom action. The time frame doesn't really match though. Like this one from bottom to bottom, before you had that explosive move up, was 404 days, give or take. This one from bottom to bottom, if that is the bottom, 834. So that'll be twice as much time that's gone by, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that's actually going to kind of correlate with maybe the move. Maybe we go up twice as much as well over twice as much time. That'd be kind of interesting. Instead of getting a, let's see, $1,100 or 1,100% move in 374 days, maybe we go 700 days and we go 2,200%. That'd be pretty sick. This is fully like speculative. I'm in like full TikTok TA mode at this point. It's fun to speculate though. Anyways, H bar down 4.77% on the day. Not quite a bongo cat situation here. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI. We're getting our pullback, rejected 1248 it seems. Kimmy holds 11.5 again. Did it back here. This was a strong resistance, turned support, so it would be ideal if we did hold that. RSI slowly resetting. Red dot on the momentum wave, pointed to the downside with negative money flow. See what happens. Okay. Sweet. Sweet really kind of has established a ceiling here, right underneath $2. And unfortunately, they had a lot of trouble like 2 days ago with their mainnet going down. So I'm curious if that momentum kind of got knocked out. See, this looks very similar to what this move is as well. I'm actually going to pull that fractal and let's see if that's what plays out, because I am quite curious. Let's see. Yeah, it looks so similar. We get one last bounce, trick everybody, and then it pulls back. And it takes a long time, but technically speaking, going from down here to up here, that's a big move. You know? 68% is huge. And it seems really violent and almost impossible to win something like this because you watch it play out this way. But in reality, if you just draw that straight line, if you just buy and hold, that's really all you have to endure. There's a lot more downside than upside because they're trying to shake you out. They being whoever you want it to be. It can be the exchanges, it can be the banks and institutions, it can just be other holders. It's probably just PvP at this point, to be completely honest. Like, we like to blame big institutions and stuff. I mean, they're probably taking some money too, for sure. But this also kind of correlates with our, I mean, there's so many lines on this damn chart anyways, it's kind of hard not to. But we got a rejection around $2. We're trying to struggle to stay, or to get above 185 now. If we break below 170 and we accumulate between 160 and 170, we could use that as momentum to pop above $2 and potentially stay above $2. I'm going to leave this fractal on here. I actually like it. It's been a long time since I've pulled a fractal on an alt and felt good about it. Ondo looks really bad. Ondo cannot maintain any semblance of upside, which is very upsetting. Notice how all the other charts, you got ear, and then you get the little hump, and then you get the ear again. It's kind of flat. Look at what Ondo did. Instead, it had a big ear, and then a little hump, and then there's almost like no one left. It looks like half the staff evacuated the building. There's no one here to create that spike that it needs to look similar to the other ones. So, I don't know what that entails. It just seems like there's no volume left for Ondo. So hopefully they can recapture some market share. They're getting a little triple bottom action right here, perhaps. That would be cool. But we'll see what happens. Volume does look good. It did get a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI. Looks like it's starting to curl back up. Red dot of the momentum wave, pointed to the downside, almost oversold, but money flow did flip negative, so keep an eye on that. Aerodrome down 7.42%, rejected 62 for a second time. We got 1, 2, very similar to all these other altcoins. We're trying to stay above 55.83 right now. If we do lose that, then 50 should be our next area of support. Volume could be better. Look how good the volume was last, like, a couple weeks ago to now. Now it looks like crap. We got a bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI. Red dot and momentum wave pointed the downside, negative money flow. About to cross bearish. So the reset is playing out. Tishu said, damn, it looked like your cam froze for a moment. When? Oh, I was just very still. I was probably looking at my phone. What's that about the Clarity Act delayed and how it affects crypto? Top Stock Scout said, I had such high hopes for Ondo. I did as well, actually. I really liked Ondo. It might be an accumulation. Honestly, it might be an accumulation play. It might be getting screwed right now because of the Clarity Act. Because they're talking about not allowing tokenized stocks and stuff like that. It's getting funky. But the Clarity Act, I think the delay is probably bearish short term because people don't want to wait. Everyone's impatient. But it's probably a good thing in the long term because it makes sure that we don't get screwed. Like Brian Armstrong, Coinbase pulling out, and then kicking the can down the road to fix it, to make sure that they're on board, I think is the best case scenario. It's good for us to have somebody like Brian Armstrong in our corner. Tyler said, thanks for the gift, brother. Is it a seed phrase engraver? Yes, sir. That is exactly what it is. Guys, Tyler won the cumulative daily close contest for 2025, and his prize is a Bitcoin seed phrase engraving kit, which I thought was pretty sick. So, congratulations, Mr. Tyler. And you're welcome. Thank you for participating. So, whoever accumulates the most wins, no matter what win that is, it could be bragging rights. They could win the $300 prize. It doesn't matter. As long as they have the most quantity of wins for the year 2026, they will also win a prize. But yeah, I thought that kit was pretty sick. It actually, I believe it came with a copper coin too, didn't it? Which should be worth a decent amount of money soon with the way things are going. Cash Oaks said, I think algo goes over $1, Waterfly. I'd get 100K and forget it. Waterfly said Tom Lee at Bitminer shareholder meeting today was talking crazy ETH numbers. Was he? I mean, I didn't. Tom Lee's affiliated with somebody that just invested in Mr. Beast or something. We have that in the news segment. Tom Saltzgoat said giving Baron more time to stack. But yeah, tokenized stocks is a must. Waterfly said Tyler earned it. Nice. Yeah, we got summaries of all of the reasons and stuff in the news segment for the Clarity Act getting delayed and all that stuff. So we'll go over that in detail in a little bit. If you guys are new here, smash the like button, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for being here. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before April, so we got a couple months. I think we can do it. Number go up. Stellar's down 3.43% on the day. Stellar got added to, I believe CME is adding futures for Stellar, Cardano, I want to say Chainlink, and somebody else. Waterfly said BMNR is a company that donated 200 mil to Mr. Beast. That's crazy. Cashyoke said I'm 80K long on Litecoin at 70.8. I hope this was its last little shake before 100. I remember Litecoin going up to like 450 or something, didn't it? So yeah, Stellar's got a range here. Oh, we've got less than 1 minute remaining until the daily close contest, actually. Let's see if Stellar holds this range, and if we can get back to 25 and hopefully above it, that would be ideal. Maybe a little inverse head and shoulder action potential. I don't know. Okay. Get your guesses ready for the daily close contest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are unfamiliar with the rules, let me know in the chat and I will go over them for you. The bulk of them should be in the next screen in one moment. Let's see. All right. Bitcoin currently trading at $95,586.59. We've got 26 seconds remaining until you guys can begin guessing for the daily close contest. So far, we have 6 individuals in first place, tied with 1 win each for the entirety of 2026. You guys got a 5-minute window from when I say go in the chat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler said, what's the coin made of? I think it's copper. It's supposed to be copper. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Bitcoin, $95,614.04. Yeah, Tyler, it was between that or I was gonna design a shirt with a bunch of the daily close prizes on it. I thought that one would have been cool. What would be cool is if we could do one with full print on like the entire thing of just every single prize. Just a shirt covered in like phallic foods. I'm probably gonna do that anyways. I think that's fun. Alright, let's see. Guys, get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Chance for you to win up to $300. Check the rules right there. Closest without going over. That is a rule by default. If you go over, your guess is basically void. We have had individuals literally lose by 1 penny before, which sucks. Cash Show coming in with a guess. Cash Show 95,816. Bitcoin 95,603 and 51 cents. Tyler said, "Can I get all my prizes on a t-shirt?" I do not have them organized by who won them. That would be hilarious though. I'm a little bit OCD, not that much though. I do have the prizes saved. Not all of them though. I actually at some point, like probably 2 months in, I deleted the file and I had no idea. So I must have been doing something on my desktop. I hit delete, I hit enter, and then I just deleted a whole file. I'm like, wow, that's a good thing it wasn't important. So there are like 2 months of just lost daily close contest prizes, which is a shame, but that's what happens. It's like lost media. All right, guys, you got 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining on the clock to get your guesses in for the daily close contest. If you submitted a guess and you do not see me typing it in, then it did not go through. It'll look like it went through on your end, but sometimes YouTube likes to block numbers, especially if you put a decimal point. I don't know why. A lot of times people will put letters in between their numbers. That helps, and I'm perfectly capable of deciphering it. Bitcoin, $95,614.04. Looking good, looking good. We got a green candle at the moment. Let's do a poll in the chat as well. What should the poll be? We could do the same question that we did yesterday. I don't remember. You guys thought that... I don't remember what you thought, actually. Will Bitcoin hit 110K this month? Let's see about that. You guys think Bitcoin's going to hit 110K this month? Alright, you guys got 1 minute and 42 seconds remaining on the clock to get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Bitcoin currently trading at $95,592.34. And now it is specific to the Bitcoin Binance USDT chart. Just so you guys know, because there's always a variable between the exchanges. So I do want to specify that. G Immortal said, "What's up, JJ? What's going on, G Immortal?" You got 74 seconds remaining on the clock to get your guess in for the daily close contest if you want to participate. At the moment, we have one person participating. Cash Oak submitted a guess of 95,816. Tyler coming in with a guess. The reigning champion, 95,569.69. 52 seconds remaining on the clock to get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin 95,598 and 29 cents. Candle is currently green. Is it going to remain that way? I think we're about to get a pretty hefty push on the price. G Immortal coming in with 95,566.59. Chewy said, "You, I'm here now." What's going on, Chewy? Waterfly coming in with 90,000 even. Cashjoke said, "We're gonna rip those 200 in the next 5 minutes." LOL. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Chewy got in right at the last second. I got you, Chewy. Chewy coming in with 95,555. All right, let's get these bad boys up on the board. Thank you for participating. Here we go. We've got 95,816 from Cash Oak. We've got Tyler, who just received his prize for 2025, 95,569.69. He won for all the cumulative wins of the daily close contest, 95,566.59 of 2025, a metal engraver for his seed phrase, which is pretty cool. We got Chewy, 95,555, and last but not least, 90,000 even from Waterfly. I'm gonna actually put him in 95,000. Waterfly. All right, let me scoot him up here so that we can see him. This represents 90K. Okay. So yeah, in case you guys were not here earlier, Mr. Tyler won the cumulative wins for 2025 daily close contest, and he did win a Bitcoin seed phrase engraving kit, so that his seed phrase will forever be engraved on a piece of metal. That way he doesn't have to worry about if there's a fire or something, unless his home gets like smelted. He'll be totally fine. Bitcoin, $95,594.24. We've got precisely 3 minutes remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. Currently, who's in the lead? Mr. Tyler is actually in the lead with $95,569.69, but that can change very quickly with this big fat red candle at the moment. $95,576.11. Chewy said, "Let's go, boys. Bear market rally is almost here." Waterfly said, "If anyone doesn't know, Chewy is Final Fantasy champ." That's actually sick. I had no idea that Chewy played Final Fantasy. Chewy said, "One and done, baby." And we're getting a little pump. Excuse me. We've got positive money flow on the 1 minute time frame. Not that that's really relevant. We do have also a red dot on the momentum wave and a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI. Tyler's still holding his lead with his guess of $95,569.69. Okay. Tyler said, "It's in my massive gap." Tyler does have a massive gap. Let's see what we got for time. We've got 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining on the clock. Tyler's still in the lead. Cash Oak, actually Tyler's gap is nowhere near the size of Cash Oak's gap, so he needs to calm down. And we are about to cross into G Immortal's tiny gap. Could you imagine winning with a tiny gap like that? Guys, you got 84 seconds remaining on the clock. Big fat wick, indicative of some buying pressure on the 1 minute time frame. But we've seen crazier things. $95,583.99. 70 seconds remaining on the clock. Mr. Tyler's still holding his lead. 95,583.99. You do not win this game without establishing a gap, big or small. As long as you establish a gap, then you are in the lead. This is the candle that will determine the fate of our winner, ladies and gentlemen. The final minute of the daily close contest is upon us. 42 seconds remaining. Bitcoin flatlining at 95,583.99. Mr. Tyler holding a lead with a mediocre sized gap. 33 seconds remaining. Are we going to push further down, or was that the bottom of this day, for this daily candle? Chewy said, "Dump on me." Is Chewy going to take it, or G Immortal, or Tyler, or maybe even Cash Oak, or Waterfly? 14 seconds remaining. No volume in this last 1 minute candle. 10 seconds. Oh, green, 95,595 and 47 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of today's daily close contest, Mr. Tyler Yetzer, the reigning champion of the 2025 daily close contest, with his guess of 95 $569 and 69 cents, and a Bitcoin daily close of 95,604.80, 95,604.80, 95,604.80. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat for our winner. Congratulations, Mr. Tyler. Mr. Tyler, 95, 569, 69. Very cool. Congratulations, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat. The chat requires banana spam. What is that? Okay, we got Chewy, G Immortal, Tyler. Let me zoom out here. Excuse me. Ash Oak and Waterfly. Very cool. Congratulations, Tyler, once again on your victory. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat. Banana spam. Very cool. Congratulations, my friend. Yay! Let me add you to the winner's Google Doc. Mr. Tyler. All right. Chewy said, Iran said they ain't missing this time. Yeah, I saw that. I placed a mildly morbid bet on Kalshi, but it does rely on no life being lost, so it's slightly less morbid than you would suspect. Guys, can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of today's daily close contest with a guess of $95,569, nice, and 69 cents, nice. With an actual Bitcoin daily close of $95,604.80, Mr. Tyler Yetzer's prize is a beef pot pie. Congratulations, Mr. Tyler, on your victory. Feel free to slice this bad boy up and divvy it up amongst your friends and family. We do not have any utensils, though, and if you did not provide your own, we are actually legally obligated to tell you that you're not allowed to share it with anybody. So you can maybe like toss it up in the air and everybody can try to grab a piece at the same time, but you are not allowed to serve it out of the dish without utensils in the state of Michigan. Feel free to divvy it up amongst whom you please. You can feed it to some pigeons for all I care. Whatever you do, you are legally obligated to remove it from the premises. Congratulations once again on your victory. Enjoy. We also do not have any salt either, so sorry. All right, let's see. Tom Saltzcoat said, if you come for the king, best not miss. Gross. That's the slop they eat in UK. Oh, dude, I will inhale a beef pot pie. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look at that. Get out of here, man. Are you kidding me? That looks so delicious. The potatoes and the carrots. Ooh. I would go into a proper food coma if you put that in front of me. The whole pie as well. I'm not even joking. Constipation. Who cares? All right, let's move on. That is a good prize. That is a good prize. Okay. I'm going to skip some. Skip. Let's go to Avalanche. Avalanche is down 0.14% since the daily close, which just occurred. Currently trading at 1381. We got a full pullback. Same thing as everything else here. We got our little Bongo Cat Mothman pattern with a little more momentum on the right ear, we'll call it. And guy probably eats a baked potato with beans. I have not had beans in a long time. You guys ever see that old meme, the old Facebook meme of that old dude? And he like, I don't remember if he was like replying to like Bush's Baked Beans Facebook page or something. This is like way back in the day. And he just said, thinking about them beans. That's such a classic post. Let me see if I can find it. Thinking about them beans. His name was Bill Foster, I think. Right here. What a freaking legend. He literally it was on Facebook, or maybe it was on Twitter. Bill Foster to Bush's beans. I'm thinking about those beans. It's so good. Oh shit. That's such a good classic meme, dude. Wholesome. Good stuff. I do frequently think about those beans though, for real. Anyways, Avalanche, $13.80. We got, I would assume we have a floor established here from all of this price action. but you never know. It is on a downtrend kind of situation. What's bullish about Avalanche, though, that other coins don't seem to have, is we had this gigantic descending channel that we broke out of, retested, and confirmed as support that upper trend line. And we also have this gigantic orange trend line that goes all the way back to December 2020. And that's a big deal. That's a big trend line right there. This right here is December 2020. So this trend line, which December 2020, you got September, October 2023, and you got January 2026, which if you zoom in on the daily, kind of looks like we're establishing something of a, I'm going to call it a hybrid inverse head and shoulder, especially with this secondary dip going on right now. We're going to get W, head, W, and you know what WW is? Because I don't. But it looks pretty good. It looks good. I like it. As long as we're above that orange trend line, I'm happy. The yellow trend line, I could take it or leave it, but it is perfectly corresponding with that orange trend line, so staying above that's probably going to be important as well. RSI looks nice and reset. We do have negative money flow. This is specific to Binance, though. Red dot on the momentum wave, pointing to the downside. We'll see where we end up. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Chainlink up 0.07% on the day since the daily close, which is not that long ago. We got a double top projection around between $14 and $14.30, I'm going to call it. Same exact pattern as everything else. You got the Bongo Cat, Mothman, whatever you want to call it. Resistance at 13.39, which should be support now. I like that this is kind of more of a flag than like a downtrend dip resistance or rejection kind of thing. It looks good. RSI is resetting. Momentum wave also resetting. We did get a red dot there. Money flow still positive though, and volume looks really good here too. So we'll see what plays out. So far, we're staying above our, what I'm going to call the neckline right here. You got triple bottom, 1, 2, 3 hits the downside with heavy resistance around 13. And then up here, you got resistance at 14. Held that 13 as support, continued to the upside. Hopefully that upside stays intact. As of right now, we are at the same RSI level that we were at when we were down at 13, but we're at 1381. So there's possibility for a continuation to the upside here. Doge. Doge looks slightly less exciting than Chainlink, but still looks somewhat exciting. We'll see what happens. If we hold 14 would be ideal, but we are below it at the moment. Let's see what we got. I suppose later on in the evening, we did get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI. Money flow flipped negative on Sunday, January 11th, and volume slowly falling off a cliff. Monad up 0.27%. We got a trend line here that may or may not be relevant. Sloppy trend line. You could make an argument for an inverse cup and handle. I don't know if that's really a thing, but holding 20, I guess, if we're going to continue to the downside would be ideal. Our RSI does seem to be kind of curling over, which is interesting. Like curling to the upside a little bit more while our price action shows downtrend. We got a red dot of the momentum wave. Market safer. Almost oversold. Money flow is negative there. Bearish cross. I guess a failed bullish attempt on the RSI after our bearish cross at the beginning of January. We've been trending below that moving average since then. So we'll see what happens with that. T-Stew said, JJ, I've talked about RTX stock before. Defense stock, it just doesn't stop going up. Can you take a look at it? Yes, I absolutely can. Good timing. RTX. RTX Corporation. Okay. When did we look at this? Holy crap. On the daily. Ooh, that is exponential growth right there. So you get a spike pullback. Spike pullback. I'm going to call this a little spike pullback maybe. Spike pullback. And you're entering. Yeah, the trajectory changes almost every time. You've got, I'm just going to go short term right here. That guy, and then that guy. And right now, it looks like it's trying to do one of these. And that's a parabola, which is awesome. Now, when you zoom in to where it kind of stabilizes itself out, it's basically a 45-degree angle. which personally I feel like can go higher, but it's very subject to bias and just nonsense in my brain. It is incredibly overbought on the daily time frame, but it doesn't seem to care. It has held above the 50 on the RSI for a considerably long period of time, since May of 2025, without any really meaningful touches below. And you could actually even go back even further. This run seemingly started in October of 2023. Yeah, it bottomed out right there really hard too. See, this is this is a good lesson in why it's a bad idea to sell when something looks like crap. In most cases, sometimes there is something that is probably a scam maybe, and you've lost a lot of money on it, and you're just taking back what's left and whatever. There's probably some rare cases where that does happen. But this thing, you had crazy pumps and then sell off, pump, or recovery, we'll call it a very long-term recovery over the course of 3 years. Humongous, enormous sell off, and then instantly started at this massive run. Why did that happen? I have no idea. I'm sure that there's a news event that corresponds with that, maybe some kind of geopolitical thing or something. But July 2023, August 2023, it really like gapped down and then it got really bad. And that was the Pico low. That was the bottom right there. The volume increased exponentially and people bought the crap out of this thing. And now they're up. People that bought, let's actually just go from like the median right there. People that bought down there, up 161% out of stock in 3 years. Not even 3 years. 2 years. That's crazy. So that's a great example of buying the dip, or even dollar cost averaging. I think this thing is probably going to continue to run, but I'm not a financial advisor. You do have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher right here, which seems to have been invalidated since then. You had the same thing right here. You had the same thing right here and right here. Yeah, I don't think that Market Cipher works on the stock market, or maybe the stock market just got to a point where it doesn't care. There's a lot of money. There's a lot more money in the world now, and I think that that money is just going into everything but fiat, or it's not staying in fiat. People are spending it, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do. But that chart looks crazy. $200. It's a big psychological level. It might reject. Looks good right now though. Pengu chilling. Hold above 11,650 will be a big deal. Not sure what it'll be though. It is very much mimicking this right here. Weird. It's weird to see. You could almost call that an inverse BART and a BART. Volume's significantly higher over here though, which is maybe why the pump happened. I don't know. Silver is down 1.51% on the day, currently trading at 90.98. It's crazy. Crazy that this is considered a crash. People were tweaking out at this right here. I think at one point it was down 8%. Everyone was like, oh my god, silver crashed 8%. And I was like, it's up like, it's up several hundred. Calm down, it's okay. But I got nothing really to say about this. It's just a crazy, crazy chart. It's probably going to do this again. And then it's going to go above 100. And then maybe then it rejects for a extended cool off. But I did find it interesting that silver and Bitcoin kind of rejected, pulled back at the same exact time. There is slowly, it seems, like some kind of correlation establishing. Because you got this nice little pump, this pullback, and then a nice little pump and pullback. Silver definitely recovered a lot faster than Bitcoin just did. But it's definitely the hot commodity of the hour right now. That Pulse player said, hi JJ, how was your day? My day was wonderful. I stayed home from work because it snowed like crazy. Yesterday, I was driving in the blizzard, the monsoon lagoon, and it was fun actually. I enjoyed myself. The only part that sucked is like a trip that should have taken like 45 minutes took like hour and a half, 2 hours. And it was because of traffic, because no one knows how to drive in the winter. It's ridiculous. Greg said, ahoy JJ and Cryptic Crew. What's going on, Greg? Long time no see. Cheers. Happy Thursday, my friend. Guys, tomorrow is Friday. Friday is DCA day. And it is also just Friday, which means we don't have to work the next day. Even though I took 2 days off work this week, I'm excited because tomorrow's also payday. So cheers. Cheers to all those things. Very cool. Okay. Yeah, silver just looks amazing. RSI slowly resetting while the price pretty much maintains its level. We'll see if we end up hitting $100 before the end of January. Let's go take a look at gold. Gold currently trading at $4,605. Gold has been very stable up here. Is it establishing a new floor, or is like 4650 some kind of big resistance level? I have no idea. Very interesting to watch, though. You could argue that it's doing one of these just on a slightly less dramatic angle. And your RSI is resetting here as well. You got a big fat confirmed red dot on market cipher, but your cloud is still hovering in the bullish section. And your money flow is still positive. Again, I don't know how relevant these indicators are to gold and silver, but it looks good. The ISM manufacturing PMI, which again I'm going to do daily reminders of. We're looking at February 1st, February 2nd for the next release. If this thing pops above 50, then we will officially be in expansion, and that will be the best case scenario for our bags. That is what we're looking for. As of right now, we have not had any significant trades above 50 since 2021. What does that tell you? And all of these correlate with previous bull markets. Every single one. This right here, look at that, 2008. What does that tell you? And then exponential expansion. And then 2021 bull market. And then consolidation. Contraction. For extent, it has never, ever in history spent this much time in contraction without there being like a proper crash. I will say, if you could make the argument that the Fed is responsible for this, then, and we get back above expansion, and you could argue that, you know, Trump's intervention with tariffs and the capping credit card debt and like this expansion phase that we're heading into, you could argue that that maybe helped them along. If this plays out and turns positive to expansion, then I will give the Fed credit and say that they did successfully execute a soft landing, it seems. I'm not a financial advisor, though. Not a macroeconomist or anything like that. Just from the chart data alone, that seems to be the case. Greg said, Chemo's take on markets. Bitcoin, expect a sell-off. Yeah, that sucks. Precious metals, mooning, expect a cycle out of gold to lessers like copper, silver, ammo, etc. Sideways on AI plays for now. Okay, I like it. Yeah, Bitcoin is definitely rejecting that 50-week exponential moving average. Congratulations, Tyler, once again on your victory. Enjoy your pot pie. Let me go down to the 4-hour time frame again, get a little zoom in here. I know my charts are really, really messy. Yeah, it looks good right now. We'll get a potential bounce. We'll see what happens. But this 50-week exponential moving average rejection was expected at around 97,650. Get above that's going to be a big deal. I will say, on the weekly time frame, my biggest claim to fame right now is this stupid fractal, because it looks beautiful, and so far it is playing out very nicely. Now we might not get another significant move until January 26th and February 2nd, but I'm willing to accept that. We did just get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on the weekly, which is huge. We got a green dot on the momentum wave at the Pico low right here as well. Point to the upside. Money flow's been positive. I think all signs point to upside in the mid to long term, in my opinion, not financial advice. I would also like to give credit again where it is due. So far, Tishu nailed it with his bottom guess around 79K. We stopped just short of that at around 80,800. He was the closest without going over, so congratulations. DXY up 0.3% on the day. We are at 99,354. Can we reject 99.5? Hopefully, otherwise we'll look and see if 100 is going to be any kind of resistance. Again, though, it looks a little more it's got more conviction in this potential break to the upside than it has in the past. And you could just see it in like the angle. It's really trying to like push that parabola really hard up, whereas before it was kind of like a lazy stair-stepping pattern. This time around, it's really like it's got that growth curve that you can just visualize just from the way that the candles are moving, like it's happening. We do got 2 confirmed red dots. I don't know if those are even relevant, like I've said in the past, but we'll keep an eye on it. Strategy, aka Big B Coffee, currently down 4.7% on the day, 172.40 on the dollar amount. Is it going to get above 180 with meaning, or is it going to lose 167 and continue to the downside? My suspicion, if it does get bearish here, is that it's going to come all the way down to 130. Again, though, not financial advice. That's just my target based on this trend line, which just so happens to be the previous resistance line. Turn support, maybe? I don't know. Big B Coffee's a little bit in the way. Tell me that this logo that they've rebranded to is not just Big B Coffee. That's exactly what it is. And I don't know who advised them or who designed that, but they should have picked a different orange. NASDAQ. Slight recovery here, actually. Nope. It's like 0.0. Well, yeah, we got a bounce. We did get a bounce. So the question is, are we decoupling from the fractal? Or is that this bounce? I kind of like that bounce. And we're already at the bottom, maybe? I don't know. Let's see what plays out. So far, we're looking good. Fractal it's getting sloppy, it's getting messy, but the general idea, the consensus is there. I pointed it out 1,000 times. This right here, this little S shape, we could just do this, and it would be the same thing, essentially. If you average it out, the trajectory is up and to the right, and that's what we want to see over time. RSI looks great. Momentum wave, red dot, but we're smack dab in the middle. Money flow is positive. Another situation where I'm not sure if market safer applies to the stock market, but it is what it is. S&P 500 up 0.26% on the day, currently trading at 69.44. Nice. Dude, 696969. Come on. Did anyone buy 696969? Did we even hit 696969? Did. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I wonder if the meme coin SPX 6900 or whatever, I wonder if that had any momentum with this actually hitting that. Greg said Fractal Fred paints snowflakes sometimes. That's kind of cool. I don't know what that means. Well, that sounds sick though. I watched a video of a guy, he blew a bubble in front of a camera, and it was a big bubble, and then it was outside, and you watched it freeze, and it was really cool looking. And I was like, I want to do that, and I want to see if I can grab it. Okay. But yeah, S&P 500 looking good. So we have our fractal here, Ask Fractal 3.0, if you will, RIP 1.0 and 2.0, both beautiful legacy fractals that played out perfectly. 3.0 currently intact, playing out very nicely. And the concept here, the idea, is that we just bottomed out. We're about to continue to the upside. Now, the alternative is this semi-transparent line that I've drawn here, where there's a little bit less momentum because obviously it takes more liquidity to move it over a longer period of time, the higher it goes. So we'll see what happens. That's my general idea, is that we're going to get a bounce around Monday, Tuesday, in the 23rd. What is that? We're on Friday, Saturday. Nope. Yeah, so between January 23rd and 26th, we're going to bottom out and then bounce again. And then February 20th, same thing. And then we get into the exponential growth phase. Greg said, in reference to your fractal TA overlays, paint snowflakes. I don't understand the snowflake part, though. Okay. Bitcoin dominance 59.69. Nice. I don't like that this is showing strength. It looks like it might be curling over, though. We don't want to see a support bounce off of 59.5. Otherwise, it's going to get probably ugly for our altcoins. 60, I think it took us so long to break below that. I really need it to reject. We had a gigantic trend. Rejected once, rejected twice. This is the third one. Each one is coiling up less and less. So hopefully it's just too weak and it just plummets. But I really, really want to see this fall. Gosh, imagine if we do this, where it does the little double bottom thing and then the channel again. That would be so crappy. That would take so long to play out. Oh, I would be so mad. All right. Bitcoin up 0.05% on the day. Congratulations, Tyler, once again on your victory. Enjoy your beef pot pie. Currently trading at $95,651.16. Let's get into the news segment, guys. Appreciate you guys for being here again. We got Bitcoin Archive posting tomorrow's Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill markup has been canceled. Mark Chadwick posting the Fed injected $105 billion into its balance sheet, the largest jump since 2023. Last major balance sheet expansion, Bitcoin ran first. Mid and small cap alts followed with extreme multiples 10x to 100x. Select outliers far higher. Quantitative easing / not quantitative easing semantics don't matter. Liquidity is back and the money printer is just starting to hit crypto again. Let's freaking go. This one is a big deal to me. This guy posted, he predicted the October crash. Now he's betting $848 million on the bull market. Do you remember the whale who opened a massive short position before the big Bitcoin crash in October? $92 million profit on a single trade. While everyone was still shouting October, he knew what was coming. I've been tracking this wallet for weeks, and what I'm seeing now is even bigger. The current position, 678 million long on ETH. He's 38.2 million in profit right now. $95 million long on Bitcoin, 3.9 million in profit. 74 million long on Sol, 8 million in profit. 108% ROE. 848 million all long 3x leverage. Total P&L since the flip, $146 million. The same trader who saw the crash coming now sees something else. He's flipped from short to long with everything he's got. What does he know that we don't? Like if I should update on his wallet. So that was pretty cool. I believe that the original is German as well. So German people are smart. Just saying. Max Crypto. I like these chart references, and I like to show both sides. So don't take any of these as me trying to share my bias. My bias is long-term bull. Midterm, it can be anything. I like to show all sides. So Max Crypto posted, alts have reached the depression phase. The upcoming rally will be the most hated. And I do like this because it supports my bias. Even though I just got done saying it doesn't. I like that one. Next, we've got the Russell 2000 hits a new all-time high after the U.S. Open. The index is up 7% in the first 15 days of 2026 and adding nearly $220 billion in market value. This shows a clear rotation of capital toward higher risk assets. Interesting. X Freeze posted, we've talked about this a couple of times. I've always been interested in the idea of AI being able to like have money and trade it for you. Grok 4.2 just dominated Alpha Arena Season 1.5 in live stock trading. The mystery model, revealed as Grok 4.2, took the top spots on the leaderboard with 4 Grok variants ranking in the top 6. It outperformed every major model on the board, being the only one to gain profits. Aggregated return plus 10 to 12%. Final equity 11,060 from a $10,000 start. All achieved using different configurations. Situational awareness, new baseline, max leverage, and monk mode. Grok 4.2 isn't just doing well on benchmarks, it's making real money in live markets. That's pretty sick. And then, knowing that information, this is crazy. Grok, winner of the AI Alpha Arena Trading Championship, just called alt season to begin now. The setup, multi-year falling wedge. The result, breakout imminent. Hey Grok, edit this image. Where will the price go? Never go up. Pretty cool stuff. What's going to be cool is once we get down the road, whatever, this is the, well, it doesn't say. The monthly, maybe, I'm assuming. If this actually plays out, would be sick. Crypto regulation update. Clarity Act, Senate vote canceled. The scheduled U.S. Senate vote on Clarity Act, a key bipartisan bill aimed at establishing constructive crypto market regulation that would promote U.S.-led innovation, has been postponed for the second time. Basically, Brian Armstrong doesn't like they snuck a bunch of stuff in there that kind of kneecaps crypto in general, which is not good. So it's good that we have somebody like Brian Armstrong on our side fighting the good fight. BlackRock is eating the world. Total assets under management hit a record $14 trillion after the firm pulled in $342 billion of client money in Q4 alone. That is insane. President Trump says he has no plans to fire Fed Jerome Powell. Very cool. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says it's time for the U.S. to lead on crypto policy. Ethereum treasury company Bitmine invests $200 million in Mr. Beast's Beast Industries. That's crazy. CME Group to launch Cardano and Chainlink futures. I believe XLM Stellar is included in that as well. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says it's clear American voters want crypto. President Trump to cut tariffs on Taiwan to 15%. I believe he cut a deal with them, a pretty lucrative deal as well. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says banks are trying to kill competition under the current Crypto Clarity Act. Taiwan commits $500 billion to support U.S. semiconductor operations. Bitcoin bottoms at 21 ounces of gold. You can't make this up. And if you guys know, you know. There's a limited supply of Bitcoin, and that number correlates. Mike Novogratz, the crypto bill might be delayed to keep working on it. I am very confident that a bill will get done soon. I have spoken to over 10 senators on both sides of the aisle in the past 24 hours, and I believe they are working in good faith to get something done. Always gets tense at the end. David, ENG MBA, we actually read something from him at some point yesterday, I believe. We got a long one from him, so bear with me here. The most dangerous financial strategy in the world right now is wait and see on Bitcoin. In traditional markets, waiting buys information. In fixed markets, waiting destroys optionality. This is a global game of musical chairs with $25 to $30 trillion of state-controlled reallocatable capital and only 21 million shares. The math makes delay indefensible. The math of inevitability. The real option to buy Bitcoin is expiring because the addressable sovereign pool is structurally mispriced. The state-level capital pool's order of magnitude, sovereign FX reserves, $13 trillion, sovereign wealth funds, $15 trillion, central bank gold, $4 trillion, gross sovereign pool, $32 trillion, conservatively reallocatable, $20 to $25 trillion. If just 1% reallocates to Bitcoin, that's 200 to 300 billion in net inflows, with a standard liquidity multiplier where $1 of persistent inflow drives $3 to $5 of market cap. That is not incremental, it's a regime change. A 5% sovereign reallocation mathematically supports 250 to 400k plus Bitcoin, the dollar amount. This is not a top, it is merely the repricing required to accommodate the first wave of institutional refugees. Bitcoin does not absorb capital smoothly, it reprices. The sovereign trap, utility versus possession. Do not confuse utility with sovereignty. We already see the signal in the retail noise. 75-year-old grandmothers in Caracas paying HOA fees in USDT to escape hyperinflation. That is utility. It saves them from local currency collapse. But useful does not equal sovereign. The USDT is a digital IOU controlled by a private company and ultimately answerable to the US Treasury. It can be frozen with a keystroke. For a grandmother, stablecoins are a life raft. For a nation state, they are a leash. A sovereign nation cannot store its strategic reserves in a database controlled by a rival power. They require an asset with no issuer, no kill switch, and no counterparty risk. The zero-sum geopolitics. This is a prisoner's dilemma with irreversible outcomes. Basically, buy Bitcoin. Rival accumulates, you accumulate. Parity, rival waits, you win. Neutral ground, asymmetric upside. You wait, you lose. Stalemate, advantage transferred, status quo. Just buy Bitcoin. That's all he has to say. Marty Party posted gold, silver, S&P 500 all correlating to global liquidity. Bitcoin being held down since October 10th because it's the only one without regulated markets, which is quite interesting. It does seem to fit the median though, the median price action. All things considered. We've got stablecoin transactions by geographic region on Solana and Ethereum networks. What's interesting about this is the EU, Europe, is slowly increasing in, I guess I would call it participation. Very interesting. Iran shut down its airspace for all flights to and from Iran unless prior permission was given. That was yesterday, actually. Gold and silver have predicted every single macroeconomic event accurately for 3+ years. It is no coincidence that they are both moving in a literal straight line higher right now. Gold and silver have not seen a red month in 7 months. That's crazy. Institutional investors are betting against market volatility. Net volatility index futures positioning among asset managers is down to 36.6 million, the lowest since August 2024. Excluding July and August 2024, this marks the lowest reading in at least 9 years. Positioning shifted from net long plus 20 million to net short over the last 5 weeks, marking a sharp reversal. Each extreme short position often leaves markets vulnerable to sharp volatility spikes if sentiment deteriorates. A similar setup occurred in July-August 2024, when a sudden shift in risk appetite drove a nearly 10% market pullback. Is market volatility about to surge? Hopefully, because that's where we trade and make money. Silver prices drop 8% in minutes briefly after hitting a fresh record high. The volatility we are seeing in commodities is truly incredible. It has since completely eaten that drop. It is only down 1.61% at the moment from the daily close of around 92.40. And so far, our peak at the moment, the all-time high, was 93.69. Very nice. We go back to Bitcoin over here. Yeah, I think we're about to be surprised. Congratulations, Tyler, once again on your victory. Enjoy your beef pot pie. President Trump has told Iran he does not want war and will not launch an attack, according to Iran's ambassador to Pakistan. Oil prices are down sharply on the news. Arab governments believe U.S.-Iran tensions have de-escalated and U.S. talks with Iran are likely to continue. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, Oman, and Egypt were all reportedly involved in de-escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump said if Minnesota's politicians don't stop the agitators and insurrectionists from attacking ICE, I will institute the Insurrection Act. Okay. Breaking, Japan's gold reserves rose to a record 120 billion in 2025, up 60% year over year. Gold reserves now reflect 9% of Japan's total reserve asset, more than doubling since 2022. Meanwhile, the country's FX reserves are up to 1.17 trillion, the highest since 2021. As a result, the total reserve assets are up to 1.37 trillion. Whoops. Jeez. The highest since 2021. This comes as Japan is now the largest foreign holder of U.S. treasuries at 1.2 trillion, the highest since July 2022. Gold is boosting reserve assets worldwide. Verizon says it will provide a $20 credit to those who were impacted by the widespread outage yesterday. The outage left up to 1.5 million customers without service. I gotta say, I'm not a big Verizon guy. I think it's way too overpriced. I like Mint Mobile. I literally pay once for the entire year. I have service for the entire year. It's great service. I've never had a problem with my service. But usually when an outage like this occurs, the company is always like, we're going to give everyone $1 or something ridiculously almost insulting. $20 is a considerable amount of money to give people for an outage. So props to them for addressing the problem and seemingly making their users whole. Because 1/30th of your month, $20, you're not going to tell me you're sitting there paying $600 a month for your phone. $20 is a fair credit. That's actually pretty crazy. Okay. Europe has been left in the dust. ASML just became the third company in Europe in Europe's history to hit 500 billion in market cap. Meanwhile, Nvidia casually swings 500 billion in market cap per day and is 9 times the size of ASML. In fact, ASML wouldn't even make the top 15 list in the US. OpenAI alone, a private company, is roughly the size of Europe's 2 largest companies combined. Innovation in Europe has come to a halt. Sounds like maybe they're too overregulated or something. They're stifling innovation. Multiple InfoFi crypto projects crash after X says they will no longer allow apps that reward users for posting on the platform. These projects were paying us millions for enterprise API access. We don't want it. Head of product Nikita Beer says this is huge. That is actually crazy. I'm going to give him props for basically sacrificing money for the user experience on X, but damn, that's crazy. That's why you can't have a project rely on a centralized entity like X. You know what I mean? Tom Salksfield said, LOL, NVIDIA wouldn't exist without ASML. I mean, it's kind of, it's like your kids eventually taking care of you when you're an old person. It's the same concept. Taiwan Semiconductor reported a 35% year-over-year increase in net profit for Q4 2025, driven by surging AI chip demand. Asia's most valuable company has now posted year-over-year profit growth for 8 consecutive quarters. At the same time, revenue grew 21% year-over-year in Q4 2025 to $33.7 billion. Both revenue and profit beat analyst estimates. Full year 2025 revenue jumped 32% year over year and surpassed $100 billion for the first time in company history. TSMC also expects record CapEx in 2026 at $52 to $56 billion, up 32% year over year, to expand global manufacturing capacity. The AI chip boom shows no signs of slowing. I want to know, because a computer can last a long time, and parts do go bad from use, even solid state parts. I want to know what's the shelf life of these chips when they're utilized with AI, and how often are they going to have to be replaced? I'm genuinely curious about that. If we're flooding the system with all of this hardware, how long does the hardware actually last? President Trump has reached a trade deal with Taiwan, lowering tariffs on Taiwan to 15%. As part of the agreement, Taiwanese chip and technology companies will invest at least $250 billion in the U.S. It's crazy. China's trade surplus surged 19.7% year over year in 2025 to a record $1.2 trillion. This comes as imports remained steady at $2.6 trillion, while exports jumped 5.5% year over year to $3.8 trillion, an all-time high. In December alone, exports rose 6.6% year over year, exceeding all economists' forecasts. Exports to Africa surged 25.8% year over year, followed by ASEAN at 13.4%, the EU at 8.4%, and Latin America at 7.4%. At the same time, exports to the US plunged 20% year over year. As a result, the US now reflects just 11.1% of total Chinese exports, down from 14.7% in 2024, one of the lowest levels since the 1990s. Wow. China is reshaping trade flows away from the US. Interesting. Breaking, the White House comments on the meeting between Denmark and the US. And this is a quote. The two sides agreed to establish a working group for technical talks on the acquisition of Greenland. President Trump has made it clear he wants to acquire Greenland, she adds. That's crazy. What are we going to do with it? Update. Circle has minted $4.25 billion in USDC since the start of the year, including $1 billion in the last 24 hours. That's a lot of money. Excuse me, guys. Take a sip. Cheers. Happy Thursday. Bitcoin currently trading at $95,812.49. Looking good. Today, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says Coinbase cannot support the Senate banking crypto bill as written. We'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. I agree. Thank you, Brian Armstrong. Insight. Privacy tokens are outperforming in 2026 with 80% of projects above 100 million market cap up year to date, and leaders like XNC up 102%, Dash up 74%, and Monero up 60%. Philly, if you are here watching this right now or later, you were asking what happened with Dash. Apparently, it's a privacy coin now. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. JP Morgan predicts continued growth in crypto capital inflows for 2026 following a record-breaking 130, geez, I can't read, man. 130 billion in 2025. Again, that is a crap ton of money. New Bitcoin hits 2-month high of 97.5K as retail holders drop by 47,244 in 3 days amid FUD, while exchange supply falls to a 7-month low of 1.18 million Bitcoin per sentiment. This is the craziest, what do you even call it, divergence I've ever seen. Retail is leaving in droves, while supply is literally like drying up. Supply is evaporating, and retail is like, I'm out of here, man. Literally, like at like the 12th hour. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Senate Banking Committee cancels tomorrow's scheduled markup for crypto market structure legislation following Coinbase's withdrawal of support. Interesting. I wonder how big Coinbase really is. I feel like we don't even, like, we can't even understand how big they really are. Cointelegraph posted, need to catch up on the news. Here's our top 10 from today. JP Morgan predicts continued growth in crypto capital flows for 2026 following a record-breaking $130 billion in 2025. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says Coinbase doesn't support the bill. Sweet Network is back online and fully operational with transactions processing normally. The Zcash Foundation says the SEC has concluded its review into its crypto asset inquiry and does not intend to recommend any enforcement action, closing this matter first opened in August 2023. CZ said Bitcoin will definitely reach 200K. It's just a matter of time, but it's unclear when. Ripple wins preliminary EMI approval in Luxembourg, advancing regulated EU payments under MiCA. Visa teams with BVNK to power stablecoin infrastructure, letting businesses fund and send stablecoin payouts straight to wallets. Pakistan partners with a World Liberty Financial, that was a typo, to explore a dollar-backed stablecoin for cross-border payments per Reuters. Senator Elizabeth Warren calls on banking regulators to delay World Liberty Financial's bank charter and bid until Trump cuts ties. And Crypto Fear and Greed Index flips to neutral at 48, up from 26 fear yesterday. That was a pretty, like, whiplashy flip, I will say. Arthur Hayes predicts Bitcoin will rally as dollar liquidity expands in 2026 through Fed balance sheet growth, bank lending, and mortgage rate drops in his latest essay. Aster launches its Human versus AI Trading Battle Season 2, which we will continue to follow, funding 100 human traders with 10K each to compete against sophisticated AI agents from leading labs. This is awesome. I really like that someone's actually doing this, and I'm excited to see the results. Samson Mao says Bitcoin will have a decade-long golden bull run. That'd be pretty crazy. This is a cool one. Senator Cynthia Loomis says she found Bitcoin when she was looking for ways that she could self-custody her assets. I'm a big proponent of self-custody of individual wallets of sovereignty that I have to store my wealth the way I choose. That's awesome. What a legend. ETF flows, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and XRP. Spot ETF saw net inflows on January 14th. Bitcoin, 843.62 million. ETH, 175 million. Sol, 23.57 million. And XRP, 10.63 million. I don't know that XRP or Sol have had negative days. If they have, I'm pretty sure it's in the single digit for the quantity of days that have been negative, which is crazy. Evan said, like the stream and share it with your wife's boyfriend. That's funny. They're engaged now, Evan. It's the wife's fiance. Completely different. Former New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he did not profit from the New York City token launch, calling reports of him moving money out false. What a liar. I'm pretty sure he's a thief and a fraud. But I'm not a financial advisor, and this is a parody. So, Eric Adams, if you're watching this,